So we want a piece of ice for world protection, and they won't give it. We'd never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember.
European analysts are saying that remembering doesn't just go one way, and that despite Trump's U-turn on using force or tariffs, the damage has already been done. So, Tony, sitting here in Asia, what's your assessment of the situation? Will NATO allies, ever see the U.S. in the same way?
Well, I think the NATO allies will not see the U.S. the same way during Trump's presidency. And I'm hoping the alliance will regroup after Trump departs, and the United States will once again be looked upon as a reliable partner.
Do you think that's possible, or do you think things would have shifted by that time?
I think it's possible. I think that, after all, we have the same core value. You don't deviate from that. Every president is temporary, even in European countries. So that policy can be changed. So I think that's possible.
Okay. Michael, I just want to quote something that a European politician had said to Politico. Trump's promises and statements are unreliable, but his scorn for Europe is consistent. We can no longer cling to this illusion that America is still what we thought it was. Do you agree with Tony, or have things changed forever?
Well, I think I agree with Tony. Before World War II, everyone hated the British, including the Americans. And then after World War II, suddenly we were all buddies. So it's very possible that there could be rapid positive changes for the United States, assuming that we have a president who understands how to achieve that.
Grant, just want to bring you in. The most worrying aspect is what you alluded to, if the Europeans and UK, actually move into China's embrace again. Like sort of 10 years ago, we hear that Keir Starmer is about to head to Beijing to so-called revive golden era Chinese-British business dialogue. How dangerous is this time?
Well, when we talk about the Europeans, it's always good to talk about which ones are we talking about. Is it a slice of the elite, which is fundamentally sort of resentful of America, absolutely despises Trump, or is it other Europeans from different parts of the spectrum? Is it the Poles who are getting along very well with the Americans politically, militarily, and the Americans are going all in Poland, apparently supporting NATO. So once again, it depends on which members of NATO, which Europeans that you're actually talking about. The thing that you often see is that there's been problems with between the Europeans and the Americans before. Remember when George Bush got us into the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? Well, there was lots of resentment directed towards him, towards the United States, and vice versa. But I think that over time that the Americans will be seen as indispensable. And it always seems that whenever there's trouble, people do sort of come back and cozy up to the United States. Why these guys are going after China, I don't know. They should know better. But both sides have to be careful not to let resentments get the better of them, because that can easily get out of control. And when it happens, you end up with some problems that you don't need. And you have enemies and adversaries taking advantage of it. So this is very dangerous.
Right. Tony, you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I think what they're doing, what Canada's doing, what UK's doing, these are economic ties, okay? I think these countries are tired of having the tariff held over their head. And tariff only happens when trade happens. So I believe the Europeans are trying to grab the US market share in China. In the meantime, China is trying to grab some more market share from the American goods that used to go to Europe. So this is a situation where the United States need to look out, because can you recover after this relationship is established later on? And can you still regain your market share in China and also in Europe? So I think the direction it's going is not good for the long-term United States sustainment, because economy is everything. If we lose our market share during this period of time, because once again, using tariff as a weapon the other country is going to take that weapon away from you by reducing trade. So I think this is what's happening.
Okay. Michael, Mark Carney, Canada's leader, calls this point in time not a transition, but a rupture. So is he overstating things? And according to all of us around the table here, this is a temporary thing that can go back to the status quo after Trump.
Well, I think every age likes to think of itself as the linchpin of history. This is a major turning point, but I still believe we can make it back because Trump is temporary. He'll be gone someday. And the people around him are temporary. They'll be gone someday.
Right, okay. So there's another perspective, which is that, this is all down to a declining power. It's not just Trump related. This is a declining power that's lashing out. Britain's decline handed over to the US, and that was another liberal democracy. I want to get you to address, is the US really in decline?
No, I don't think America's in decline. I've heard it at least 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, with people insisting that we were finished. We have a way of coming back. We're not the British after World War II, when we had just come out of a world war that bankrupted us and killed a whole bunch of us and had an empire that we couldn't maintain. We're a country where people still want to invest. People want to come live here. We have an illegal immigration problem. Not too many other places around the world do as well. And if America can get its act together, improve its finance, start spending like drunken sailors, and apologies to drunken sailors, we've got our borders closed, we've got inflation under control, reindustrialize, get over that idiocy that shipped so much of our manufacturing overseas, and give people in Youngstown, Ohio, and Erie, Pennsylvania, some sort of a decent life other than getting addicted to fentanyl for a short bit. I think America can easily come back. I think we haven't lost it. I think the sort of the political animosities in the U.S. are very troubling, particularly when one side sees the other as evil to be destroyed. But America's not finished at all. And like in a business, you look at the demand for something, and that tells you how valuable it is. And you look at the demand around the world for a sort of a strong America that is still ultimately a free society based on individual liberty. I think we're not done yet. And if we survive the Jimmy Carter era, we probably have a pretty good chance of getting over this as well. I think somebody who's 150 years old would probably tell me they've heard we're finished at least 7 or 8 times more than I have. So I'm reasonably optimistic, but we do make it hard for ourselves oftentimes, it seems.